Wow, talk about a bang for your buck with Boruto Naruto Next Generation's episode 175, the climax of Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki versus Deepa. Yo, Orochimaru back, actually throwing hands against Victor, one of the members of the notorious group Kara. Konohamaru getting his butt handed to him. Yeah, everything can't be perfect, you know what I'm saying? But yo, this episode was awesome. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I always gotta do it. I don't care. The comparison of you go to what we had up until the introduction of Deepa with Urashiki. Urashiki couldn't shine Deepa's boots, okay? He couldn't do nothing in comparison to the epicness that Deepa was, or Deepa is, or whatever, because I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sold on him being completely out the game just yet. But boy, was he just amazing. And, you know, a little bit of a different motif. Definitely an interesting fella, to say the least. And overall, man, we gotta talk about this, baby. Boruto Naruto Next Generations, episode 175. Let's do it.
I say we gonna do what we do, no matter how you move, make your move. That's how it be, though.
So after the training, which it was interesting training at that, after the setup, the build-up, and everything for the rematch, which came pretty quick, I'm not gonna lie, of Boruto, Sarada, Mitsuki versus Deepa, we finally get it with this episode. And I'm not gonna lie, this episode provided a lot. Like, you know, we constantly dunk on the Boruto anime for this, that, and the third, but this arc in general, with the training that we got and stuff, it feels as though these are the things that the manga purposely leaves out so that the anime could have a lot of interesting things to do. Because, like, alone in this episode, the advancement for Sarada with her eyes and shit, like, a lot of really good stuff happened in this episode and in this arc, and it's overall adding to the development of these characters that, you know, the manga, which I'm not gonna say like the anime is better than the manga by any means necessary at all, but I will say that you don't get these key moments for the characters of the next generation that you get in the anime. You don't get those in the manga, and I think that that's dope, because side characters, you know, if it's the next generation, you ideally want to see the side characters or the other characters aside from like the OG Naruto characters. You want to see them get their shine too. And this episode, fam, let's talk. Because it starts with the rematch of Boruto and Sarada versus him, but, like, you know, there's certain elements that you could tell, like, they purposely do it, like, hey, they're not Team 7. Team 7, the new Team 7 is not just Boruto and Sarada. There's also supposed to be Mitsuki there, so they're still kind of getting worked on. They really can't take them out. They're still kind of, like, a little hopeless, and honestly, when you first jump into that part of the episode, you're kind of like, well, damn, all that training for nothing, huh? Like, they still getting their asses beat and shit, so it took a little bit, but again, that's a good fight. You don't want immediately either side to just completely dominate for 90% of the fight or anything like that. Like, it was a balance, but ultimately you can still see that Deepa was in control for the most part. And then on the flip side, we got Konohamaru, grandson of Hiruzen, nephew of Asuma, protege and student of the 7th Hokage Naruto, getting the beats and not being able to do squat against old man Victor. Now, it'd be disingenuous to say that Victor is just this harmless old man that is whipping down, like we're reading Sakamoto Days, a new manga from Jump. I had to bring that up. I'm sorry. I'm really loving this brand new manga. But yeah, he's not just an ordinary old man. Obviously, he's a very established shinobi and all of that jazz. You know, he's strong, whatever. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. The anime, while it's doing justice for Sarada, it's doing justice for Mitsuki, Boruto, a lot of the next gen characters, it has done a beyond, and the manga as well, has done a beyond disservice to Konohamaru. Konohamaru in this fight against Victor, fam, like, just bear with me for a moment if you're listening right now. Tell me, am I bugging out? Like, yo, you had to be saved by the man that killed, or at the very least is responsible for the death of your grandfather. Like, and don't get me wrong, we'll get to in a minute how epic Orochimaru and shit like that, but Konohamaru, man, just get in the dumpster, goddammit, get in the dumpster, you trash ass. Like, I'm sorry, and it pains me because Konohamaru, what was he in the Naruto anime? Like, he was episode, what, 2 or 3? He gets introduced to the story and shit like that. Like, he's been around so freaking long, and maybe that's why it pains me even more, and I'm more disappointed of, like, you said he was going to be rivaling Naruto for Hokage at first, then you said, nah, he's gonna be the, well, 6th at the time, because, you know, Kakashi was a curveball at the end, but, you know, I'll be the 7th. Now you're supposed to be the 8th. You ain't gonna be the 8th shit, okay? You ain't gonna be nothing. Like, the next Hokage will be Nojin before you, motherfucker, okay? Like, you just... Oh my god. Konohamaru. Damn. Damn. But to the credit of the episode, Orochimaru starting off with biting off Victor's head with the giant snake, ruthless as ever. Like, don't get it twisted. I love when Orochimaru's like, yo fam, you're trash. No, he didn't say, but he said, don't get it twisted, Konohamaru. I ain't come here to save you. It's just that you happen to be there, which I think to a certain degree he's kind of fronting. I think he's not completely being honest there. Like, he probably was. Like, Orochimaru has come a long way. He's still dastardly. I mean, look, he starts off the battle by biting this dude's head off, so he's still not a good guy or whatever, but he leans more towards an anti-hero opposed to just being a straight up villain or a straight up good guy. Like, he's bordering there, but I do think that he genuinely wanted to a certain degree to help Konohamaru, and at the same time it also benefits his goal anyway, so why the hell not? And the little battle between, like, I was just so excited, and again, I don't know if you're following me with this, but to see Orochimaru actually throwing hands in a serious battle against one of the big threats of the story right now, one of the members of Kara, the infamous group and shit like that, I am there like, woohoo, yo, it was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, seeing, first of course Victor with them hack genes regenerating his head and shit. Like, come on fam, I don't know, maybe it's been so long from the days of Dragon Ball with Majin Buu. I'm never a fan of regeneration, and we'll see it more in the story or whatever, but he regen, and then Orochimaru was like, oh bet, because he loses an arm, and I'm like, Orochimaru getting into a battle and losing his arm? Yes, I'll take it. And he regenerates his arm as well, but Orochimaru, absolute beast, and I was just happy to see it. I ain't gonna lie, I was just happy to see it. Like, okay, it was at the cost of making Konohamaru look like even more of a trash bag joke, but hey, we got Orochimaru on the battlefield, right? And that was a plus for me. And at the end of the day, seeing Victor's dreams get spoiled was pretty epic. And I'm not going to talk about the episode in exact chronological order and shit like that, but when the tree started melting and it grabbed him and sucked him in and shit like that, because it was a fake tree or whatever, I was like, yeah, it probably should happen like that, because didn't like Madara and Obito and all them go through a living nightmare to create that tree and stuff? Like the amount of time and detail it took for them to get that tree to happen, like, and this motherfucker uses some tech and shit, and here we go. I was glad that it actually didn't completely happen the way he wanted, so that he could get the chakra fruit, because it's like, yo, you're supposed to have the 10 tail, all this, that, and the third, and like, oh, I grabbed some seeds from a field and I did my thing. Like, no, like, good, you get swallowed. Although, I don't want to spoil for anime onlys, but if you read the manga, if you know, you know, I guess. Okay, how about this? The next 10 seconds or less, I'm gonna quickly talk about the spoiler, so jump over 10 seconds from now, and we'll be completely done. Victor is obviously not dead, if we're still including the manga stuff, because he's alive in the manga, and we know who actually kills him in the manga, so he will return, and likely Deepa as well. But yeah, okay, 10 seconds up, I'm imagining. Go. Then on the flip side, since Orochimaru obviously arrived to the battlefield, we also get Mitsuki arriving to the other side in the battle against Deepa, the reunion of Team 7. And you know, it was wild, because I thought it was an interesting aspect and good that we have the character around, because don't forget there's that older Mitsuki that, you know, Orochimaru originally created. He wasn't as perfect as the Mitsuki that we have now, and he was the one that donated the organs for Mitsuki. And if you remember, was it last episode or the episode before that, when he was having the conversation, he was trying to get up and Mitsuki hit him with the needle. Obviously he had a change of heart and he felt bad for him and felt like, yo, if he want to do these missions and shit, I'm a failure, let me give him his organs. I wonder if he's going to die though, the older Mitsuki. But I think they had like one that was going to take a while, and that was why Mitsuki couldn't join the battle, because it was going to take some time. But either way, whatever, having him involved was great. First shot at it, they basically kick a bit of that Deepa ass. Boruto hits him with the compressed Rasengan, and he's forced into this new mode that he has, like this black and white armor. And honestly, Deepa, from his character design to his personality, all of it, I liked it. I mean, I could argue that maybe you could say like, what the hell was that he looked like? I don't know, but I don't know. For me, I liked it, and I could see back and forth between fandom, but I think it looked cool. So him going back and forth with the shield, and then it kind of looked like he had, instead of it being like the gauntlet glove from Thanos, it looked like his whole arm was that. I was just kind of like, okay. And his motif of basically wanting to eat exquisite things, and he was tired, he's had a taste of everything on earth, you know, he's over it, that's why he wants to eat the chakra fruit. I was just thinking to myself, hey Deepa, have you tried eating ass? No. But I'm never the biggest fan of that, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's whatever. Like, he seems as though he's a mechanical being anyway, so it's like kind of this wacky thing. But I was never the biggest fan of the manga Toriko, which is all about food. And it's just, so that being his motif, I mean, hey, it's one guy and he's like this hungry dude that loves exquisite different tastes, so I guess it's fine, because it's not like everybody in the world. But I'm never, again, the biggest fan of that in particular. Like, you ran off of wanting to eat food. And then one of the moments that I love the most, because I love the character, she's one of my favorites. I always argue that if there was a spin-off and it wasn't about Boruto, it should have been about her. Sarada fam in the battle against Deepa, saving Boruto's hide and unlocking her second Tomo for her Sharingan, which means all the training that she did with her parents, with Sasuke, with Sakura, managed to amount to something great, and she is there. And I was just like, the art and animation in this episode, oh my god, if only the canonical stuff in Shippuden towards the end in the war had more animation like this episode. Like, don't get me wrong, there was some great animated stuff in the war and all that shit, but episodes like this, and you could tell, like, I've noticed with Period, whenever it's filler stuff, anime original stuff, whatever you want to call it, and that is really supposed to be good and climaxy, they usually put the best art and animation, and that's what they did with this episode, because after the armor thing, they try it again, and that shot of first it's Boruto with the compressed Rasengan, then I believe it's Mitsuki that says, no, I'm going to help you, and he goes into the sage mode, and then on top of that, Sarada comes behind all three of them, and the three of them hit him with the, what was it called? Super high compression Rasengan, and it breaks his armor and shatters it. I was just like, oh my god, it looked amazing, it was great, it was done perfect with the choreography, the build up, the training, everything amounted to this, and Deepa went down, but I gotta give praise Deepa, praise to the Most High. Hey, okay, Tory Lanez, relax. I gotta give Deepa props because unlike Orochimaru, that was the filler villain of the Boruto anime, this dude actually was like, he was dope, he was legit. It took a lot. It took them to go back and train with Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, Shoji-Oji rematch with Boruto. It took a lot for them to build back up. But fucking Mitsuki having to get organ transplants and shit for them to be able to take this dude out. And remember, it's not like he's one of the big, like the Kara members, for the most part, we haven't even really seen shit. We saw a little meeting and that was it. Like, Victor is like, they said earlier on in this arc that he basically bought his way into Kara, and Deepa is like an outcast. They don't even give a shit about him, so them taking him out is not far-fetched at all. And honestly, this episode was amazing. Wrap up to a great arc. You could argue the little in-between episodes, like the Iwabe stuff, it still kind of adds in a way. It's slice of life stuff, right? And it's not the best, and it's not stuff that we want to see and shit like that. But if you are, it was like, hey, it amounted to them getting Orochimaru, and then Orochimaru becomes a big piece of this arc. So all together, this arc was not bad at all. In fact, the climax was great. Loved it. Art and animation on point. Battles, Orochimaru on the battlefield. Konohamaru's a trash can. Fuck it, it is what it is. 2020, here we are. And seeing Deep on the floor, was it just me, or when he put his hand up and he said, no, I tried it? He reminded me of when Obito got his ass kicked and he had his hand in the air and shit. I don't know, that was kind of funny. But yeah, excellent episode, seeing Orochimaru entrusting Mitsuki again to Konohamaru and them, finishing it off. It was a great episode. I'm very curious what you guys thought about this, though. How did you feel about the climax of Sarada, Boruto, Mitsuki versus Deepa? Sarada unlocking that second Tomo, Orochimaru on the battlefield with the most serious threat in the Boruto verse thus far, Konohamaru being disappointing. Like I said, perfection is not really a thing, I guess. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the Boruto anime with episode 176 and beyond. Again, from the preview of 176, it seems as though we're going to be going into transitional episodes. From what I've heard, like the next 5 or so is going to be build up to the big enchilada in about 5 episodes. If you are an anime only, if you just happen to watch this video, you haven't been on your old Naruto fan and you just want to check out what's going on in 5 episodes, the shit that I, myself, and most of the Boruto fandom that loves it have been screaming about for 2 to 3 years that it's great, starts up. You better get ready. Be there. Your 180 process of hating Boruto to loving it is about to start. Get ready. But that is all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld. And as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy! Have an awesome day. Peace in, and yo, Boruto anime, when it's great, it is great. I gotta give it that. Yeah. Hype shit.
It's nights like this and times like this. What's that? That I can give another hit, but I've got this inside a switch. Natural bliss, but that